Do it fast. Go, white boy, go.
Bah! Hey, my name is Nato, and I recently have started to invest way too much time into Osu. I've been playing for about 3 months now, and I've logged 95 hours in the game. And just this week, I made the switch over to tablet, and I wanted to talk about it. I want to make this as sort of my experience, and also what you should look out for if you are a new player planning on switching over from mouse to tablet. Switching over to a tablet is a weird commitment, because as someone who's very used to traditional video games, getting something that is so specific to the game that I'm playing is kind of a foreign concept to me, and at first made me kind of nervous to make the switch. What if I didn't like it? What if it stunted my own growth as a player for a longer period of time? What if it just all ended up being a waste of money, and I ended up liking using mouse more anyways? These were all thoughts going through my head, and I'm sure going through yours if you are a new player planning on buying a tablet. All these thoughts remained in my head before I bought the tablet, as I was buying the tablet, and even up until I was unboxing the tablet myself. But after about a week of use, I can confidently say it was totally worth the buy for me. So first, let's talk about my own experience and how it went for the first few days of playing on tablet. I purchased the Gaomon S620, and if you would like to get one yourself, they're currently $10 off on Amazon, and I will link it down in the description. The box for this tablet is really nicely put together, and everything seems to be in its own place. I had no problem with the unboxing experience, and everything seemed to fit where it needed to. As for feel, I think that this tablet is just overall really nice. I don't really know all the funky technical stuff that makes a tablet good or bad for Osu, but from my limited experience with this tablet, everything feels really smooth, and the pen fits really nice in my hand. I found it was also nice that this tablet was small, so I could store it or just keep it out of the way when needed. This seems to be a common thing throughout most tablets when used in Osu, but it was just something I liked. If you want a more comprehensive review of the Gaomon S620 on more of the technical stuff about this tablet, there will be a video by Project Ace linked in the description. Now, as I said before, I started playing with this tablet only about a week ago, but I actually think that it has increased my consistency when playing Osu tenfold. Before, when I played with a mouse, I found it really hard to be super consistent with jumps, and on longer and more flowy aim maps, it felt really hard with the mouse drift. This mouse drift became increasingly a larger problem on longer maps, as my mouse would find itself all over my mousepad, even sometimes bumping into my keyboard, messing up some of my plays. This, of course, is not to bash on mouse, but I will go over the pros and cons a little bit later in the video. For me, switching over to tablet has significantly helped me improve with consistency, and just in general helped me improve my aim on longer and quicker jumps. I find the smaller and more precise movements of the pen have helped me more with consistency compared to some of the larger movements I would have to make with my arm when playing on mouse. As a quick benchmark, I would have said that my comfort level was about high 4-star and low 5-star maps on mouse. When I first started to play with tablet, I started really slow, playing some high 2-star maps and some low 3-star maps as well. I then slowly worked my way up to playing high 3-star and low 4-star maps. Around this time, I was still fiddling around with the Haku drivers, trying to figure out the size that I would like to use for my tablet. I slowly moved my way up to playing some mid to high 4-star maps and ended the first day being able to comfortably play in the 4-star range, being able to pass most 5-stars. One big thing that I learned very quickly when using a tablet is that for me, jumps were way more based on my reaction timing and my ability to read compared to my aim. At least from what I experienced when I switched over from tablet to mouse. Once I got down the motions of using tablet, it really didn't feel that hard to make my way back to the jumps that I was able to do before. Once I really adjusted, I did not find these jumps hard at all, except for the occasional over or under aim when I was figuring out the tablet. On the other hand, my flow aim was dog shit. I found myself snapping to each and every note on a stream instead of smoothly moving my way down the notes. Of course, this has been changing as I've become more comfortable when using tablet, but for me, this was the most difficult switch from moving over from mouse. On another note, I could be using these terms completely incorrectly because I'm still new to Osu and still figuring out some of these terms, but I think that's what I was having a problem with. Well, I digress. I actually felt like I could become way more consistent with my aim on the tablet compared to a mouse, as I did not have to have the experience with any kind of mouse drift, and also the movements on a tablet just felt more clean for me. As time has progressed throughout this week, I still do suck at streaming, but I feel like my flow aim has gotten a little bit better when switching to tablet, and I also tend to slider brake way less. Alright, enough about my experience, let's move to the pros and cons, in my opinion, of a new player switching over to tablet. One big thing I want to emphasize before I get into the pros and cons, for me, is that I do not think you should switch to tablet unless you know you are committed to playing Osu. Like I said before, learning some of the fundamentals on a mouse seemed to help my switch over to the tablet a lot, and I feel like it helped me make a smoother and easier transition over to tablet. Make sure before you commit to buying a tablet, you know that you enjoy Osu, you like the game, and you think you really are willing to make this financial commitment, I guess. Alright, enough with me blabbering on, let's talk about the pros and cons of switching to a tablet as a new player. These are just my opinion with my limited experience of using the tablet and also my limited experience in Osu, but here we go. Let's start off with the pros. These might sound similar, but they really are what I love about using the tablet. The biggest pro for me was the fact that I felt like I could be more consistent. Jumps and even streaming have become much easier, and I don't find myself ever really getting lost when I'm reading or playing a map. I feel like I have a consistent tablet area where movements are exactly the same every time I do them, and I think that's the best benefit to switching over to tablet. Another big pro for me was movement. I don't feel like I have a stupid risk of hurting my wrist when playing compared to using the mouse, and the movement feels much smoother in Osu, as well as everything feels a little less snappy. Finally, just the lack of any kind of mouse drift. There is no worry about your mouse slowly moving away that could affect your cursor placement, especially when playing longer maps. Like I said before, I seriously used to have the problem with sometimes my mouse slowly drifting its way over to my keyboard, and I broke a few FCs because it would bump into my keyboard. I know that this sounds really silly, but to me it's something nice to not experience anymore. Now for the cons. One of the biggest ones is the learning curve. I feel like I have been very fortunate to not really have to experience a harsh learning curve when I switched over to tablet, but from what I've heard from others, and even still some small adjustments I am making, the learning curve can be harsh. I guess this con adds on to the learning curve point, but lack of comfortability can be a huge con for a new player. Everyone knows how to use a mouse if they play any kind of PC game or just use a computer in general, so playing with a mouse is something that should be comfortable for almost anyone. So the switch over to tablet can be daunting because of this. The final con, of course, is price. Like I said before, make sure you are comfortable playing Osu and committed, or at least know that you enjoy playing. I'm not saying that you have to play Osu every single day to consider buying a tablet, but gauge how often you play, and if you think the cost of the tablet will be worth it in the end, then totally go for it and buy yourself a tablet. Now for some quick wrap-up thoughts. For me, switching to tablet has been a great experience, and I'm really happy that I made the switch. It has made me feel way more consistent when playing Osu, and I'm excited to see where this takes me in my improvement and just my overall experience when playing Osu. My recommendation is that if you are a new player and you've been playing a lot, and you're thinking about switching over to tablet, if you have the money to, you totally should do it. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and if you did, consider subscribing and leaving a like. Join the Discord down below. We do community events on stream about once a week where I give away supporter tags, and it's just a super chill community. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.